Good morning. This is Perspectives. I'm Celeste Baragni. Today, my guest is Angie Gustafson. She's the Development and Social Media Coordinator of House in the Woods. Good morning, Angie.
Good morning. Nice to chat with you.
Yeah, let's start off with the origin story of House in the Woods.
Well, it starts way back in 2007 when Paul and Deanna's son, Sergeant Joel A. House, was active in the Army. And Paul House tells this story best, but what I can tell you is, unfortunately, on Dee House's birthday, on Joel's mother's birthday, Paul and Dee had a visit from a couple Army servicemen who visited and shared with them that Joel had been lost. He was killed in action that morning on Dee's birthday. And after what Paul would share is a heart-wrenching process of going through losing a child, what he found was, after gathering together men and women who served with Joel and who were even with him when he was killed, when they gathered together at the cabin and they were fishing and they were kayaking and they were swimming and just sharing time together and telling stories right after the funeral, they were laughing and they were healing, and he immediately knew that Joel was in heaven with the Lord. They have a very strong faith, but that his mission from God was literally to give back to the men and women who served and come back. It's not just about men and women who served in combat, but all servicemen and servicewomen. Our duty and our job now is to give back and say thank you for their service. Thank you for our freedom, and the way that we do that is through offering free outdoor recreational hunting and fishing retreats for healing and camaraderie, getting those men and women together, which is what oftentimes they're missing when they get out of service.
And Angie, who can apply and how would they apply?
Great question. It is all servicemen and servicewomen and Gold Star families. So essentially, some organizations have a specific era that they might be serving or an age group. We are not. We're trying to serve everyone in the military. So it would be all eras, all branches, all states, men and women. All of our retreats are co-ed. I like to say it's active, retired veterans, and Gold Star families. Basically, everyone from everywhere. If you have served or you have lost a family member in service and you are a Gold Star family member, you all qualify. So that means a lot of times active members may not be readily available at this time, but we highly recommend you go on, just get your name on the list, because there is an interest list. So it doesn't mean that you would be called immediately anyway, but it also means that we're also planning activities for World War II vets. We are so blessed to still have some World War II vets around. This last year, we planned an event for them, and that didn't mean a hunting trip, but we spent the day. We had an Andrews Sisters cover band come, and we served them lunch, and we spent time with them, and we listened to stories. So it's everyone, and it's not just wounded either. So some organizations serve wounded veterans, but we are fully ADA accessible, which means we can host almost everyone, and we will do our very best to do that. A couple years ago, we had hosted 2 quadriplegics on our bear hunt, which means we have track chairs, we have all the accessories that we need to safely take them out in the woods and provide them with an outdoor experience they'll remember.
And you have a list of upcoming events and retreats. They look so interesting. Walk us through them, Angie.
So the list of events and activities that you can find, I'll start by just directing you to the website, houseinthewoods.org. There is an events button at the top, or schedule at the top with our calendar, which gives you a rundown of a lot of things that are happening. So we just got finished with our sturgeon spearing retreat, which happened in Wisconsin. You can only do that in Wisconsin, so that's why we hosted that there. We just had ice fishing. We'll have rabbit hunt. We have coyote and bobcat and all sorts of winter activities that happen. And then we move into the spring. We'll have fishing retreats. And as we get into fishing and hiking, more recreational, different things that are happening during the summertime. Maple syrup tapping is happening right now, so we're also doing things like that, which is providing new opportunities for veterans and their families to be self-sustaining. Get out into the woods, find some interesting things that can get you into the woods, which is where the healing is happening. And then you get into the rest of the year where we have moose, bear, deer, turkey, goose, I mean, you name it. I usually like to say, if you can hunt it, fish it, or hike it in the Northeast, we're either doing it or we're scheduling it.
And you have networking opportunities available through House in the Woods as well. Who are some of your partners?
One of the things, if we can reasonably fit it into the schedule, our primary focus is one-on-one with veterans, getting them into the outdoors. But Our second mission, obviously, that goes with that is just getting out and reaching veterans and reaching supporters. They kind of go hand in hand. You know, we love our veterans. We love to focus 100% of our time on them, but it does cost money for us to keep the mission going. So we recently went to the National Wild Turkey Federation Convention in Tennessee. We'll be going to the VFW National Convention in Ohio, and if we can fit it into the schedule and we're able to go out and just meet new people, share what we have to offer, and find new supporters and new patriots out there who would like to support us in some way, there's just endless opportunities. So keep an eye out, usually on our social media, where we're going to be.
And how does House in the Woods provide community connection?
So in addition to the actual veteran retreats that we do, which are primarily one-on-one with other veterans and not the entire family, because if you aren't in a military family, one thing that we take into consideration and are always cognizant of, there's conversations that can be had between veterans and other veterans that can't be had with the kids around or the spouses. So that's super important. We do like to provide other opportunities in the community to let veterans bring their families or have the community as a whole, the whole country is welcome to join us. We have a music on the green. So, for example, we have entertainment and food and auctions. It's a good opportunity for people to come and see the lodge and feel that for themselves, because oftentimes when they come up that country, rural Skunk Hill Road, they're expecting to see a tiny cabin, a little log cabin in the woods, and when they turn down that driveway, it's really quite the sight to see, but it's also really just something you need to feel for yourself, because a lot of times people walk through the doors and they'll say, I can feel God's love here. And it's very, very true. So we have music on the green. We have a spring night out with House in the Woods, which is entertainment, auction, dinner, again, food. You'll find food everywhere we go. We love to eat. We love to provide that home atmosphere, and that's one reason we call House in the Woods home away from home, because there's always a lot of food, a lot of laughter, a lot of things that you would do with your own family, which is why a lot of times when people get involved, they do become really part of our House in the Woods family.
And a night out with House in the Woods featuring an Andrews Sisters cover band is going to be held in Bangor on Saturday, April 19th. The tickets are $30. It includes a pulled pork meal, a live auction, and all the funds raised will go towards supporting the free outdoor retreats for veterans through House in the Woods. And once again, you can get more information about that, and I think your tickets at houseinthewoods.org. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. And I'll tell you, there's probably some in the younger generation who aren't sure who Andrews Sisters is. But we had invited this group from New York to entertain the World War II vets that I was talking about earlier. And man, oh man, did they put on a show really just representative of that greatest generation. And it's really also an educational tool because, like I said, a lot of the younger generation don't even really know that much about World War II, about those veterans, that era, and the amount of patriotism that era really felt. And so we thought, let's bring those ladies back. Let's show everybody a really great time. We have a live auction, silent auction, and then, like I said, dinner, entertainment. And it's again, another way that we can get the community involved in not only what we do, but also just hopefully as an inspiration to, hey, what can I be doing to provide something for veterans? Maybe it's not through House in the Woods. Maybe it's in another personal way. Maybe it's just calling the neighbor that you know is a veteran and checking in on them.
Oh, that's a great idea. And Angie, tell us about some of the fundraisers that you have going on and about your Amazon wish list.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. There's so many different ways that people can support House in the Woods and get involved, whether you're close to Maine or you're not, does not matter. And Paul always likes to say, every dollar matters. He shares a story, and I'll share it briefly. When House in the Woods first got started, he got a $5 bill in the mail with a handwritten letter, and he always says, I could tell that it was written by, an older person. And the note just said, this is all I could afford. I hope you can use this. And it always brings a tear to my eye when I hear that story, and it reminds me, whether someone's sharing a post on Facebook, hopping on our Amazon wish list, which is supplies that we need all year long that people, like your house, things that you buy for your house, toilet paper, paper towel, laundry detergent, all that stuff is on that Amazon wish list, and every single thing matters. If you hop on and direct ship a package of toilet paper, that's just as good as gold these days because it costs, a fair amount to run the lodge for the year, and all those supplies really help. On the houseinthewoods.org website, There are also equipment lists, of things that we need. There are some big equipment items that we need to keep the lodge and keep the retreats running. But as far as fundraisers go, that night out would be one of the big ones. April 19th, as you mentioned, that's going to be in Bangor, Maine. We have a golf tournament in May. We do that every year. So you can get out and have fun and just enjoy a good time while supporting House in the Woods. And then July is going to be a big one. We haven't even officially announced it. So we're going to be having Christmas in July because, especially in Maine, when I don't know where you're from, but it's cold in the winter. It's tough financially because everybody's trying to buy gifts and provide for their families. So we thought, let's not put that extra pressure of supporting us in the wintertime. Let's bump it up. Let's move all of this fun and all these activities up to July, the most patriotic month of the year, and do this Christmas in July, which is going to be full of Festival of Trees. We have our Music on the Green. As I mentioned, we have a couple bands coming for that. And then there's a whole list of other things that are happening throughout the year, which is also on that schedule. There's a clay shooting fundraiser. There's a running race fundraiser. I like to remind people, look at the things that you really are passionate about. And whatever you love to do, there's a way that you can turn that into a fundraiser or take a portion of those proceeds and donate it back to the veterans.
You are just a little firecracker full of amazing ideas, Angie. I love Christmas in July. What a great opportunity to celebrate our veterans. You're right, the most patriotic month of the year, and it does take some of the pressure off around Christmas time. But, by making donations in July, it really is a boost to everybody. Tell us about your Coffee with the Vets, because that's a monthly connection that's really important.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. One of the things that's special about the retreats at House in the Woods is we don't have the same groups coming back time and time again for our retreats. Sometimes people ask, is it the same veterans that are coming back? And we say, no, there's over 20 million veterans living in the United States today. That's just the veterans. Aside from the retreat, we need to find ways that everyone can just come together, have things to look forward to, have an opportunity to connect with new veterans, with friends they already had, and just feel like family, because that's also another thing that sometimes myself or anyone, that's a little bit older sometimes can feel a little bit alone, like, what's going on? So monthly on the third Wednesday of every single month from 7 to 11 in the morning, we have House in the Woods Coffee with Vets, which is just that. No pressure, just free coffee, free baked goods. We have tons and tons of incredible volunteer bakers who just love to pour their heart into these baked goodies, and we get together and we eat. I mean, who are we to take that passion away from them? So we eat all their goodies, and people are always bringing things. The VA has started to have someone available at the lodge at that time as well, which makes it super handy for anybody who needs any support. You can just show up at any time during there between 7 and 11, bring a friend, bring a family member. It's just very casual, and that is every single third Wednesday of the month from 7 to 11 at House in the Woods in Lee, Maine. One that I really want to highlight is going to be May. As it starts to warm up in Maine, more people are able to get out a little bit easier, so the May Coffee with Vets is going to be really special. We're having Guitars for Vets is going to be playing. Booth Bay Vets is coming to put on a big, huge breakfast, a huge spread that they're donating. And then the Maine Wood Turners is going to be coming and showing people how they turn pens. And really what we also want to provide at that time is highlighting opportunities for veterans to find other activities that they love. They're so talented. And sometimes as they get older, they're looking for things to do with their time, and we might be able to showcase something that they had never considered before. So the May Coffee with Vets is definitely going to be one to check out.
All right. And Angie, what are some of the goals for the future for House in the Woods?
So I would say a few of the immediate goals. I mean, it goes back to the $5 donation. Obviously, we're a 501c3, so we're always looking to raise funds for our annual costs. Costs roughly $250,000 to run the program for the year. Beyond that, we are in need of a good used truck to take out into the field. We do a lot of work on our bait sites deep into the woods. And then we always use those vehicles for field work, yard work, all of that kind of stuff. Additionally, we need a garage, so we're working on fundraising to have something like that put together. And then I would say the big one that we're trying to really talk about more is the endowment. So we have started an endowment, which means it's an investment for the future. So this is an account where I think we have roughly $80,000 in there right now. That's an investment that we're just letting sit and grow, because the idea is long after Paul and Dee and myself and all of our beautiful volunteers right now are gone, we want to make sure that there's funds there for the future volunteers to not have to worry about fundraisers. You know, we always hope someone's wanting to fundraise, but if we could just focus on the veterans, what an amazing opportunity that would be in the future. So this is a big one, but it's absolutely possible. Our goal is $10 million for the endowment, and that way in the future, the program could run solely off of the interest of that endowment program, which is run through Means Wealth in Bangor. So that's a big one, but it's absolutely possible. There's a lot of really loving and passionate patriots out there, so that's the long term.
And Angie, are you looking for volunteers?
We're always looking for volunteers, yes, whether it's cleaning or cooking or baking, hanging out at some of the booths like we were talking about the VFW National Convention, retreats, organizations like that. At our retreats, we're always looking for new guides. We have an incredible list of volunteer guides, but they are getting older, and we need to bring some newer, younger guides in to get training with the guides and kind of take the helm into the future. We're always looking for more volunteer guides, people to work in the field, people to work on the lodge. You know, just like we were talking about, any house, any business, think about the maintenance that needs to be done at your house or business, and we need that as well. So there's a link at houseinthewoods.org where you can find volunteer link there. You can just enter your information, and our volunteer coordinator will reach out to you and see how you can get involved.
Angie, thank you so much for being with us this morning and telling us more about House in the Woods.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's a blessing of our lives to be able to do what we do and to give back and just see. We didn't take much time to talk about this, but I just want to share that this is truly life-changing and life-saving. It sounds like a lot of fun. There is a lot of fun, but we have a lot of vets who come back and say, this absolutely changed and saved my life. In some cases, there was a real dark end to their vision for their life, and sometimes after connecting with other veterans and getting into the healing outdoors, they say, this is the only reason that I'm still here. So thank you for the opportunity for us to be able to share that.
Thank you for the work that you're doing at House in the Woods, Angie.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Angie Gustafson, Development and Social Media Coordinator of House in the Woods. I'm Celeste Barani. This has been Perspectives.